It is 5:30, and I will call this special city council meeting to order. We have a regular agenda, and number one is presentation regarding 391 ERAS Somerville County Sub-Regional Planning Commission, and Judge Huckabee is here.
Hello, thank y'all. I'm Brandon. You all know me, but I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. But I am here representing the ERAS Somerville Sub-Regional Planning Commission. I'm the president of that commission. We formed on May the 2nd between Erath County and Somerville County. A sub-regional planning committee is something that you're allowed to do under Local Government Code Chapter 391, which allows you to merge with counties or municipalities within your larger planning commission, which we're all part of the North Central Texas Regional Planning Commission. We formed that on March the 2nd. We did vote today to formally invite the city of Stephenville to join us in that. What a 391 Planning Commission does, it forces coordination with state agencies. So as we work through planning for what's good for our region, our county, along with Somerville County, we can have meetings with the different state agencies like the Public Utilities Commission and places like that. And that's really the most important part of it. It's a way for us to enact local control in a ever-changing environment where there's less of that local control. And so we would love to have you join us with representation on that commission as we move forward. I think everybody knows what we're working with right now is the 765 transmission lines that are crossing all of Erath County and affecting a lot of your citizens, which are all Erath County citizens. And we would love to have you on that commission with us, helping us guide our policy. I think I sent a policy out to the city manager King to send to you guys, and we would love if you join to have some more input on that. It's a living document that can help guide us through those meetings that we have, and we would just love to have your voice and seat at the table, and I'll answer any questions that you may have for me.
Any questions for Judge Huckabee?
Judge, I appreciate you doing this, but by our joining, does that add extra strength to the committee because of the number of residents and the mileage, square mileage that we cover, et cetera?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more municipalities or government agencies we have on it, I think it shows the more committed and together we are as a county and as a regional planning committee, and so definitely think it would help strengthen our position at the table.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Mayor, I would make the motion that we join the ERAS Somerville Sub-Regional Planning Commission.
Second.
This is by resolution,
Okay.
so we'd ask you to adopt the resolution that's provided.
Okay. Mayor, may I amend my motion to?
Yes, sir. Let's, I'll go ahead and then I'll let you make your motion. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. So we'll just consider the approval of the resolution authorizing and approving joining a sub-regional planning commission to be known as the ERAS Somerville County Sub-Regional Planning Commission. Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion that we adopt resolution 2026 R07.
Second.
So I have a motion by Alan and a second by Leanne. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Number 3, consider an appointment of a designee for ERAS Somerville County Sub-Regional Planning Commission. Mr. King.
Mayor, members of council, as the judge mentioned, we will need 2 members of this body appointed by you to serve on the commission with Judge Huckabee and the other elected officials.
Mayor, I'd make the motion to appoint you and council member Well, Gerald Cook. I couldn't think of your first name, I apologize. Yeah,
He's looking right over here and I was
As
like,
our-
oh, here we go.
as our designees on this commission.
I have a motion.
Second.
Second by Leanne. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Councilman. We will recess the special meeting and call committee meeting to order, and the time is 5:35. And we will go to our council committee meeting, and we'll go to Tourism and Visitors Bureau Committee. Leanne?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Is Al- I don't know who's giving our report. Which one's
They're
giving-
over there.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ashley.
There we go. Okay. Hi, I'm Ashley Thomas. I'm the Main Street manager. So I'm just gonna give a little update, about Main Street. So just a reminder, Main Street's just a nationwide preservation-based economic development program, trying to bring downtowns back to life and more businesses and more money spent in downtowns. So what has Main Street been doing? It's been a while since I've gotten to give a presentation to council, so kind of tried to pick some larger things that have been going on. We still are promoting our downtown gift card program through Yifty, promoting people to go buy those and spend those in stores. We've had one Alley Bingo this year since the Alley Bingo in October with Charlton's Family Weekend. Main Street celebrated 5 years in October as a program, and so in the middle, there's the yellow flowers and the sign in it, and those signs can be found throughout the Main Street district now on top of other signage. So, and then Charlton Roundup came downtown just 2 weeks ago, I think now, as part of their citywide cleanup. Main Street assisted in the Martin Luther King Jr. Day breakfast event. We are helping promote the Boot with a Spur project. So this boot is at Monk Realty, just right outside of downtown. So they're the second one kind of in downtown, and then a residential boot has also been bought, just promoting that Western heritage and that culture. And then we put on Christmasville on November 28th this past year and had more added vendors back, had lots of activities for families and kids, as well as more participants in the chili cook-off. And then we will have our Memorial Day banner program. We have 8 banners that have been claimed this year, so more than we've had in years past, so that program's continuing to grow for people honoring their loved ones. Some downtown information. We currently have 91 downtown businesses. We have 4 vacant buildings, and then we have 2 other buildings that are currently under renovations. I just got confirmation today that the 118 East College Street, so that part of the Senior Citizen Center, we're going to have a, just like a building showing on April 8th from 11:30 to 1:30, so more information will come out about that shortly, once they've given us some items to send out and share. So if anybody's interested in leasing that you can come see it before it's all done. We will have downtown hall meetings. We've moved those to bi-monthly. The next one will be in April, and then we have our monthly Main Street Advisory Board meetings. Our next event is going to be on April 4th. It will be Cars and Coffee from 7 to 10, and then the Farmers and Artisan Market from 9 to noon, and Landry Allen will be playing live music that day. So some visitation information for just downtown. The majority of our visitors are coming from the DFW airport, most of them, and this is for the whole year of 2025. So the majority of those visitors in 2025 are coming on Fridays and Saturdays, and then March was our highest visitor month in 2025. So, And then our Main Street goals for 2026, they're slightly different than last year, but still kind of the same. So to prioritize the implementation of a unified and visually pleasing urban but rural environment that elevates the collective experience for residents, visitors, and businesses, advocating for preservation and promoting the history and cultural heritage through the Stephenville Main Street, strengthening local partnerships and volunteer participation, and creating more advocates for Main Street. That's all. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Ashley?
Any questions for Ashley?
All right.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. And now Ally will come up and give us a, update for tourism and visitors.
Hi, Council. Thank you for having me. I wanted to specifically speak today on the hotel occupancy in 2025. It works. Okay. So what you're looking at here is a hotel report that I build out, and these numbers I get from the state in regards to how full our hotels are. And so this was for the annual 2025. And then this chart, in short, displays an estimate of how we should have performed in regards to hotel occupancy in 2025 and how we actually ended up performing. So here we've listed out our competitors. So we have Granbury, Mineral Wells, Glenrose, and Weatherford listed out as a few of our competitors. And then right here, as we're reading from left to right, this first number displays the days in the period. So 2025 had 365 days, and we had 488 hotel rooms available in 2025. And so that next column, we see how many hotel rooms we have to fill for the entire year. So if we multiply 488 by 365, it equals that number, which is 178,120 rooms. And then the same goes for the totals at the bottom. So yes. And so in total in our area, there's just over 1 million rooms to be filled in 2025. And so here, that percentage, as we move from left to right, is our piece of the pie. So if we have that number, that's 1,019,445 rooms total in our area, we get 17.47% of that. So that is what we're estimated to get in our piece of the pie. Then as we move, so the Source Strategies estimated occupied rooms, that percentage is how full we were. And then that number told me the estimated rooms sold. So in reality, our piece of the pie, we got 17.78%. So we actually did better than what was estimated that we should have gotten. And we were 59.5% full in 2025. And then with that, you can see our average daily rate. Our average daily rate was $118.68, which was about $10 higher from last year, but we can look at 2024's numbers here in a minute. But I first wanted to briefly look at two of our competitors, just to see how we compare with them. So Mineral Wells, as you can see, I believe they outpriced themselves at $121.47. And if you compare both percentages, they didn't get as large of a piece as they should have in reality. So that's how we compared to Mineral Wells specifically. And then a city who may have done a little bit better than we had was Weatherford. They have over 1,000 rooms, and they performed almost 2 points better than expected, but they also had one of the lowest average daily rates. So there's all sorts of things that play into hotel occupancy and all this stuff. So that's just how we compare with them. But now I want to look at how we performed and compared to 2024. It's kind of small, but it's okay. So here we see that last year we had a higher percentage of the market, so of how we actually performed. So in 2024, we had 17.3% of the market, and in 2025, we had 17.78% of the market. And we also had that average daily rate that was about $10 higher than last year. So I think we're still doing really well. We did really well in 2025. We also added 33 rooms with the addition of Interstate Inn that opened in January of 2025. And then lastly, due to this increase and due to our continuous growth in hotel stays, if you look at the very far right column, you can see our estimated revenue. So in 2024, compared to 2025, we earned about $1.4 million more in revenue than we did from the previous year. So that was really exciting. But yeah, that's it for me. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
The average daily room rent that you had up there, did that include taxes, or is that just the room?
That was just the average daily rate for all of the. I don't think it include taxes. Maybe. No.
It does not.
No. Sir.
Okay,
No. Sir.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Great. Thank you.
And that's all of my report. Mayor?
Thank you. We'll go to Personnel Committee now. Brandon Greenhall.
Yes, I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. King for the insurance presentation.
Everybody's favorite topic. It's time for us to discuss our annual health insurance benefits and renewals for us. This year's probably been particularly challenging over some of the past years, but I think we have a good pathway forward. And so I'd ask Mr. Rodney Dryden with Hub International, who kind of helps us put everything together, to come forward and explain the information in the packets that we've handed you all this evening.
Jason, Mayor, Council, thank you for having me tonight. The packet that you have in front of you, and apologize, some of the print's a little small, so, but in a nutshell, staff is aware of the challenges we've been facing over the last 12 months. We knew a difficult renewal was coming, and it was difficult. The initial numbers that we received from Blue Cross Blue Shield for our current plans, the ask was a 46.7% increase over our current costs, which is staggering, to say the least. Blue Cross did reduce that number to 36%. However, after marketing the programs, our most competitive option came from United Healthcare as our healthcare provider. Coupling that with a program that we'll discuss a little bit more called a MERP. The recommendation is to make the transition to United Healthcare, changing deductibles on our base health plan, which is our high deductible health plan HSA, from a $5,000 deductible to an $8,300 deductible, but establish a MERP to cover that delta between the $5,000 and the $8,300, so that your employees don't see a change in their program and in their benefit and the way that it works. In doing that, and I'll run through the packet that you have in front of you, we did get other quotes from other companies. We got one from, in the notes page that you see there, from a company called Curative. They're newer in the market. We don't feel comfortable quite yet making that leap. We did get declines from Aetna, TML, EMI Health, Angle Health, Allstate, Texacare, which is Texas Mutual. If you're in the private sector space, Texas Mutual is the largest workers' comp provider in the state, and they're in the healthcare business now. So the recommendation is to continue the PPO offering. That's what the city and its staff is comfortable and confident in. United Healthcare, we have had a couple of times over the last 6-7 years. The overall reception from staff and membership has been satisfactory. I believe Mr. King and Monica would likely agree with that. So you have, in the packet in front of you, you have the initial notes page, We are recommending that if we do make the move and council approves United Healthcare, that we move our ancillary programs, that's dental, vision, life, so forth, to United Healthcare, because they offer a 3.5% discount off of the medical premium when you transition those products. In addition to that, we negotiated a package pricing discount, which equates to $10 per employee per month, which equates to about 17,000 additional dollars. So when you look at that all in all, we still are faced with a potential increase, but that increase has been greatly mitigated from 46.7, depending on how our plan runs, to somewhere in the single digits. So if you want to look at the second page after the note page, that's where it gets into the Blue Cross page. I don't know how much time you want to spend on a 46% increase, but Blue Cross, we have two plans now. It's under tab 2 in your packet. We looked at the Blue Cross Blue Shield options, and to give you a flavor of the impact of that, that's $500,000, $34,000, so it's substantial. We looked at alternative plans from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Those just did not satisfy us for rate relief and cost containment. Do you have any questions or want to discuss Blue Cross further before we go to United Healthcare? Under tab 3 is United Healthcare. And you see at the top, we have illustrated those rates with what are called the bundle discounts. So we've had them adjust those numbers to reflect the discounts for adding dental, life, and so forth, programs that you already have. So we always try to match what you currently have to indicate a cost for similar programs. The overall cost, about halfway down the page, if the city renewed United Healthcare programs that are most similar to Blue Cross Blue Shield, the high deductible health plan, HSA, increases by 20.9. The copay plan, which you currently have 31 employees enrolled in, is 27%. When you blend that, it's a 22.5% increase. Is everyone following that so far? Okay. So one of the things that we talked to staff about was a MERP. We're in the insurance business. We like lots of acronyms. A medical expense reimbursement plan. The purpose and the goal of this plan is to implement, you have an underlying health plan, which in this example would be United Healthcare. We implement the MERP. We adopt the highest deductible health plan we can get to drive premium down. But we drive that premium down not on the backs of your members. The MERP covers the difference between the $5,000 deductible you currently have and the $8,300 deductible that the piece of paper from United Healthcare will say. Does that make sense to everyone? So in our analysis of the way that your employees have utilized the health plan over the last 2 years, almost 90% of your employees spend less than $5,000 a year. So we know that that other 10%, where the MERP is likely going to fund that delta, that $3,300 difference between a $5,000 deductible and an $8,300. So that's roughly 20 people. That's $66,000. We know that if we fund that through the MERP, that the city stands to save a substantial amount of money by making the transition to this higher deductible health plan and implementing the MERP compared to what it would cost the city if you just said, let's move to United and take plans that are similar to what we have today. I have said a lot of things in 10 minutes. Anybody have questions, concerns, comments before we get a little more into the mechanic of the MERP? So our plan, our recommendation is to continue the two plans that we have. your employees that are in the high deductible health plan, HSA we all call them, it will still be a qualified plan, so they can still make contributions to the health savings account and receive contributions to the health savings account. The MERP protects them on the back end so that they're not liable for more expense than they are today, okay? We've done this at a lot of clients. It's been very successful. So the side benefit of this is when you go to that 8,300, we're also limiting the number of claims that are even presented to our healthcare company, United Healthcare in this example, for payment and processing. So they're going to see likely fewer claims than they do even now because the MERP's covering anything over 5,000. So any expenditures below $8,300 outside of being repriced for the PPO contract with United Healthcare, they're not paying those claims. That should help us on renewal, fast forward 12 months. Okay? The overall state of healthcare, as you all know, is pretty rough right now. So we're always looking for ways that we can keep cost in check as much as we can without putting the burden on your people. So underneath tab 3, the first page is the United plans that match most closely, and then the third set of numbers is a $6,350 deductible, high deductible health plan. And then if you turn the page, the last two sets of plans on the right, those are the recommendation. So at the top, it says UHC alternate plans, kind of in a rusty color bar there. And you see the 8,300 and the 16,600 highlighted in red. Does everyone see that? They're highlighted in red because it's different from what you're doing right now. But you can see it's 8,300 and 16,600. This is the pure insurance premium cost, okay? I want to be clear about that. This is what is billed from United Healthcare. So you can see in that example, instead of a 20% increase for your current 5,000 plan, it's a 3.26 increase. Overall, when you blend the two, it's an 8.2% increase. In dollars to the city, for the premium piece of it, it's a $94,000 increase, which is not small, but it's an increase, but it's dramatically less than what we were looking at with Blue Cross. So the goal in that is to keep your employees whole. And what do I mean by that? If they're having $50 deducted out of their paycheck today, it would stay 50. So one of the reasons that we looked at this program, get that deductible up higher, drive costs down, we go from a $500,000 increase to keep your employees whole down to 94. So we believe we've accomplished the goal, which is to keep benefits close to where they are without costs going up exponentially. Jason, have I misstated anything so far?
No, sir, I just want to add a little bit to it. So we've tried to do that over the last few years, either make gains, and we have in some years, being able to offer a couple different plans to better fit folks. Or in years like this where we try to maintain. Even at the increase today, when you go back in time to 2015, 2016, and some of the rates we were paying then, these are still far below what we were a decade ago. And so the challenge was, can we still provide the same programs and offerings and coverages that our folks have had, and figure out how to manage that cost increase? And working with Monica, we believe we can do that. Besides the MERP to handle the difference in the deductible changes on both plans, there was also some increase where we subsidize on the family and employee, or family, child, and spouse coverages. And so we're recommending to continue subsidizing those and those increases are built into this also. Now, Monica does her numbers a little different than Rodney. Rodney does it on plan participants. We build off of total budgeting. And so, Monica, if I'm not mistaken, I think the last number you told me was, for us, was 101,
Well, it's 180 with the MERP.
180 with the MERP, but that's at 100%.
Yes.
Our costs actually are more closely aligned with what Rodney has, but we do have to budget.
You budget full staff, full
budget full
positions.
staff. But our actuals
Thank you.
usually end up about what Rodney was showing.
So, and thank you for that added explanation, because it is important. I actually have a lot of cities we work for that if they have 180 positions, they budget what they have filled today, which is difficult sometimes. So, doing it the way that we do it, from a budget perspective, we're in good shape on that perspective. My job is actual costs. And so what we've done here is, I think we've accomplished most of the request, which was to keep cost in check. One thing that's a little bit different, if you continue in tab 3, there's a page that looks like this. So those numbers, and I apologize for the small print, but the numbers, the rates at the bottom of the page, those numbers need to be reduced by 3.5%. So that actual MERP exposure, the savings is actually greater than what this illustrates by 3.5%. So to give you perspective on that, 3.5% is almost $50,000. So the numbers we have on this page will actually adjust by about $50,000 because the company, the difference card, which would manage the MERP, had not updated these yet. Yes, sir.
Up or down?
Down,
Down, okay.
down.
An important
Down.
component, yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. So these numbers are overstated
Okay.
by about $50,000. So it's actually a little better picture than what we've got right here. So I didn't want to do the math for them because things go wrong when that happens, so I'm waiting for the update from them. So there's about 50,000, Monica, that we didn't have illustrated on this. And all that does for us is two things. It makes our maximum exposure lower, and it saves us about $4,000 a month in spend. So the way that the MERP works, your employees, they get basically a MasterCard. It integrates with the health plan, so when they go to the doctor, they get to $5,001. At that point, they'll present their MasterCard for payment. The MERP, through Truist Bank, communicates with Monica, she approves the reimbursement, and it's paid. So it works pretty seamlessly. And of course, we're here to support staff and your people if they have any issues with it. Any questions, Monica? Any questions for me?
Either if you wanna see, what the actual cost to the city per month, and what the employee pays. And the first four is if we, put the increase on the first 4 pages is if we put the increase on the employee, and then the last 4 are, having where the employee pays exactly the same as they have in the past. So we absorb the additional increase on that one.
So my question is, I mean, we're on the hook for the MERP only if it's used, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's just,
And I think he said 2 years. I think when we looked at some of the data, it's really about 5 or 6 years. We average about 20 people a year that hit that, so we know kind of what to plan for in that area.
We did go back, Jason, to 2021 and look at that data. And the reality is you have anywhere in people between 15 and 24 people annually that exceed that number. And so the percentage has fluctuated only because your staff has grown over that same period of time. So the reality is, if historical data tells us the truth, then we feel highly confident that the exposure is pretty limited.
We talked about 90% are under the 5,000, and then well over 50% of that are actually under 1,000 annually, and our costs are driven by about 6 or 7 claims, and that is what it is.
Have we investigated United Healthcare versus Blue Cross Blue Shield for in-network for physicians and facilities, et cetera, in our area that we use?
Yes. The answer is yes. And prior to being with Blue Cross, these last 2 years, we were with United Healthcare. We had a disruption report created, and we had a 99.1% match. Doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, labs, very little disruption, which I expected. Texas Health Resources in Stephenville, absolutely in the network. Many of your small pharmacies in town are in the network, don't have any problems with that. So I don't expect much, if any, disruption truly with your membership and the doctors that they use. United, as everyone is aware, is probably the largest insurance provider in the U.S. So as far as networks are concerned, I really don't have any concern about that.
So they'll be able to use their primary physicians in the community.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And Jason, you made the comment, to give you perspective, of 206 members that are currently covered, 103 spent less than $200. So if that gives you perspective on the law of the 80-20 rule that applies to so much.
Did the maintenance drug thing, did United?
Yes.
Okay.
Our conversation this afternoon, I just need absolute confirmation from them because they had approved it for the 6,300 and the 6,750. I don't think it's a problem for 83. I just need confirmation. So what Mr. King is referencing there, 3 years ago, we negotiated with United Healthcare a list of drugs that don't cost a member a copay, a deductible, anything. And so it's a lot of your routine, your blood pressure medications, some migraine medications, diabetic medications, those types of things. They had already approved it for 3 of the plans. I don't see a problem with that. It's just getting the formal sign off. It's been a very valuable program for your folks.
And then in this packet, we also are proposing the thing with First Stop Health.
Yes.
As the telemedicine.
Yes, 3 years ago, we implemented First Stop Health, virtual PCP. You had quite a few employees that did not have a primary care physician or a PCP, and many of them adopted the physicians through First Stop Health. They're US-based physicians, and they're using them for their primary care medical needs via telephone or virtual. So it's been a very successful program. The ROI on that program has exceeded what we pay for it pretty dramatically. We get very positive feedback. It's far beyond just primary care. There are counseling sessions, nutritional coaches. It's a robust plan that your employees and their dependents use. It's a really nice program. And I will say that package pricing of about $17,000 worth of credit will come. Monica, that will show up as a bill, $10 PEPM. So, and it'll show for the first 12 months. Mr. King, did I miss anything additional you would like to discuss?
I don't think so, sir. Mr. Chair, I'll take any questions.
Any questions as we move forward with the medical insurance?
Just curious. Company I used to run, we dealt with Blue Cross and Blue Shield a lot. And they would always walk in, and have your annual review and all that kind of stuff. And usually told us how much that they lost. How much did they lose?
On the, specifically,
On our group, here.
give me
I
one,
didn't
give me
see
one
it
second.
here. Maybe I'm missing.
No, it's a fair question. Through January, it's virtually break even.
Break even. And they still only 46.5%.
So
That's,
Blue Cross
that's
Blue
pretty
Shield,
nice.
well, don't we all wish we could be in that business? Where you
Right,
could
don't we?
break even and ask for a 46% increase. But the healthcare industry in general is struggling right now. I'm not defending Blue Cross Blue Shield, but they are losing. In the 2 to 150 employee segment, their loss ratio for that book of business, which equates for about 4 million members, is running at about 130%. So they're losing.
It's not losing on us.
They are not losing on us. Washington is tackling the pharmaceutical industry right now, which is a tough one. The rebate monies that flow back to insurance companies are massive, and so they're trying to trim some of that fat. And when they trim that fat, which I agree with, somebody's got to pay. So we're just in a vicious cycle right now, and it's rough. So thankfully, working with Mr. King and Ms. Harris, it's really nice that they're open to ideas to mitigate risk and try to keep our cost within a reasonable budget number. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other questions? So, Mr. King, we need, well, this,
I think we can handle it in one motion, just, again, make sure everybody understands. We're recommending the two plans, the PPO plan that you saw and the high deductible HSA. We will offset those differences in the deductibles with the MERP program that we'll be funding. We'll continue the subsidies on the family coverages, which also increased. Remain with First Stop Health. On the HSAs, it includes the $1,500 towards the HSA that we do. Basically, everything we're doing today, just we're increasing our cost either 94 and some changes, you look at it, but budget-wise, we'll budget for the full amount.
so if we just need a motion to,
You can say as presented.
as presented.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I will take a motion from the committee regarding the health plans as presented.
Well, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the healthcare as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And we will forward that to the full council with a positive recommendation. That concludes the Personnel Committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll adjourn the committee meetings and
You can actually give stick around, since we're gonna revisit this in just a second, just in case somebody else has a question.
Ready, Lon? So we're going to adjourn the committee meetings and reconvene the special city council meetings. It's 6:13. And then we'll go to item number 4, consider approval of election contract with Erath County Clerk's Office for May 2nd, 2026 general election. Sarah?
Mayor and council, in your packet, there is an updated contract from the Erath County Clerk's Office. They run our election process for us, so this is just another annual contract for them to continue that service. So I just need a motion to approve the contract.
I make a motion that we approve the contract with the Erath County Clerk's Office as presented.
Second.
Sorry, can I ask a question, or is it too late? On that?
Discussion.
Sarah, can you give us I can't get it to open. Can you let us know exactly how much it costs for us to to have an election? Is that allowed?
Yeah, absolutely. So last year, we didn't have an election, so it didn't cost us anything. 2024, it was about 14,000 for the May election. So it depends on who else is having an election, kind of, it all feeds together. But I would expect it to be around 12 to 14 again this year.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mayor, do you have a motion and a second?
Yes, you want to Dean seconded. All in favor to approve I've lost my wording here, a contract with Erod County Clerk's Office to hold our elections? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Thank you.
passes. Okay. We'll go on to number 5, consider the repeal of development contract with the North 94 Land Development LLC. City Manager Jason King.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of council, recall a few weeks ago, we asked you to approve a contract with North 94 Land Development in discussions of doing a administrative or city hall building down at the end of Columbia Street, right there at the, kind of the hill by the rec hall. And that contract would have allowed for some kind of front-end work, architectural plans, groundwork, those sorts of things, and created a reimbursement agreement. After that meeting, with some further discussions with Mr. Thomas and some other attorneys that he's talked to, I think the recommendation at this point is to ask council to repeal that contract. And we're kind of going back to the drawing board agreement-wise. Is that about right, Mr. Thomas?
Correct.
Okay.
So do I have a motion that we will repeal the development contract with North 94 Land Development?
So
Mayor,
moved.
We got a motion by Councilman Cook, and a second by Councilman Nix. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll go to Public Works Committee, Councilman Alan Nix. Chair.
Thank you, Mayor. On February 17th, Public Works Committee met to discuss the Harbin Drive Crosswalk Beacons project. If y'all will remember, when we constructed Harbin, we got a 4-lane divided road there compared to what we had before. We have a significant amount of pedestrian traffic crossing that to football games as well as classes for Tarleton and other events that are held in the ECU and other things on campus. It was decided that we should try to enhance pedestrian traffic safety as they cross Harbin because of the speed and the amount of traffic that is on Harbin. The committee met and discussed the fact that we had 4 bids. Well, we asked for 4 bids, and we received 1 bid from, well, goodness, Texas Traffic LLC of Everman for $147,580 for those crosswalk signals. In the packet that we had that day, and I think in your packet today also, we show some of the specifics of where the crosswalk will be at the intersection of Tarleton and Harbin, and also that it will be activated by the pedestrian traffic. It will have the ability to stop traffic in both directions as the pedestrians cross. It will be on a timer so that it can't be a continual stop, but it will offer the time for the pedestrians to cross safely from one side to the other. After discussion by the committee, it was the unanimous recommendation of the committee that we approve the contract for the Harbin Drive Crosswalk Beacons to Texas Traffic LLC in the amount of $147,580. And Mayor, I would make that as a motion to the council to approve that contract with the Texas Traffic LLC.
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. We're going to recess to Employee Benefits Trust meeting. The time is 6:19. we will recess the special meeting and enter into employee benefits trust meeting. And call to order, so we will discuss employee benefits for the year of 2026, 2027. Do I have any discussion on this? Do I have a motion?
So, council remembers, you also serve as the Employee Benefits Trust. And so, any motions coming out of this would be just like committee. The trust would make a recommendation to council.
Do I have a motion?
So, Mr. Mayor, I move that we forward to council the approval of the employee benefits plan for year 26-27, as discussed earlier in committee.
Do I have a second? Leanne? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have any opposed? Motion passes. So we'll adjourn the Employee Benefits Trust meeting, and it is 6:21. And we will adjourn the Employee Benefits Trust meeting and reconvene the City Council meeting. And we'll go to number 10, consider approval of employee benefits for the plan year of 2026-27.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the employee benefits plan for year 2026-2027 as forwarded to the council from committee.
Second.
Have a second with Dean. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So we're going to go into executive session in compliance with the provisions of the Texas Open Meetings Law, Subchapter D, Government Code, Vernon's Texas Codes, annotated in accordance with Section 551-074, personnel matters, to deliberate the employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to wit, Director of Administrative Services, and Section 551071, consultation with attorney to consult over a pending or contemplated litigation regarding S 2600 City Edition. At this time, we'll recess into executive session. It is 6:22, and we will be back. Okay, it is 6:59. I will reconvene this, the special meeting. Actions taken, Councilman Lentz.
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion authorizing Mr. King to sign the releases as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We'll adjourn. It is 7 o'clock, and we'll stand adjourned.